Hi, today we're going to look at how you can phase align your drums using Time Aligner. So the process of time alignment is to remove any phase issues. Specifically, we're going to be looking at a drum kit today. What we want to achieve is that each track is aligned in such a way that we're not causing phase issues by cancellation. If you want to find out more about phase, you can find another video on my channel called Polarity or Phase. Most people use the term phase and they mean polarity, but today we're talking about time. Phase is time, phase is time. So I'm going to go through and show you how I would time align a drum kit. This is the same drum track that we were looking at following when we were doing the tempo mapping, so it should be fairly familiar to you. But the process of time alignment means that I want to time all of the hits to the snare. In this situation, I want to make the snare the center of the kick. So what I'm going to look for is snares that have bled into other things. So specifically toms, we've got a rack and a floor tom, and then I want to align the snare top and bottom to each other. So to do this effectively, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I find the last hit within those tracks. So if you look here, we zoom specifically in on this area, you can see that these snare hits are all fairly close, but we need to make sure. So what I want to do is I want to go through and I want to measure the distance from the very last snare hit, well, the very last capture of the snare hit, to the each individual hit. So we're going to look at this snare hit. So first we need to change our metering to samples, and then I'm going to zoom right in. So that's a snare hit here, and what I want to do is I want to find out which one is the last one. So I'm just going to zoom along. So these are our snare hits. Our snare top and bottom have been recorded in polarity, which is lovely, but everything else is out. So that's fine. We're only looking at time. You can see the difference between all of these hits. So it looks like, very much looks like, that our floor tom is the furthest away. So what we need to do is we need to line everything to the floor tom. So if we put the floor tom at the top, just for this process. So this is the start of our kick here. You can hear that. So our floor tom is the furthest one back, so we need to measure between here and here. So if we look up here, we've got length. I need to push back that kick drum by 80 samples. So we're going to delay, and then you have time adjuster, and then we stick in 80. Bosh, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this all the way down until we get to racks. I'm not going to do the overheads. I want them to let everything breathe a little bit. Some instances I have done it, most of the time I don't, but we'll see how it sounds. I may end up doing it later. So then we need to measure from the front of this transient here, so we'll take here. So that was 80 samples. That is 7. So the kick sub is 7. Then to the front of our snare top, again, is 80. Bosh. Then from our snare bottom, 68. And then from our rack tom, from our rack tom to our floor tom is 32. And then from our hats, I imagine this to be a bit less, from our hats to our floor tom is 13. So just by doing that, we've gone through and we've made our drum kit a little bit tighter. So I'm going to put the floor back where it lives. And then so you can see that was a nice tight snappy snare. So if we turn all of these off, excuse me. So we can turn all of these off and we'll listen without and then we'll listen with. So if I just grab a 4-bar loop, or a loop of sorts, we'll go up to here. So you can hear how tight that's made everything. Apart from the 200 Hertz ring, it's actually not sounding too bad. With a lot of processing, I think we'll be in a really good space. So that's how you timeline a drum kit. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, there should be a logo up here which you should be able to click on and also subscribe. Don't forget to check out the rest of the videos in the channel. More views, more content. That makes me happy chappy. Lovely. See you later.